How you doing, Baggedmilk?
I'm doing very, very well. How are you doing?
Doing good, yeah.
I'm a little hesitant to bring this up because I don't want to jinx the team, but we are on a bit of a heater right now, and we have a possibility of going 7 straight tonight. Has this team figured out how to play defense? Is it as simple as that? Or is there another answer here?
I think you kind of nailed it. The team looks like they're figuring out how to play defense. They're playing as a unit. They're not rushing out of the zone to cheat for offense as much over the last 6 games, and it's really nice to see. It's really, really nice to see. I've been waiting for this, and it's finally coming around. And it's not like they're only beating weak teams during this run either. They beat Tampa, they beat Vegas. These are some teams. They beat Seattle. These are some teams they have to beat to be the best, and I'm just really encouraged by the way the Oilers are playing right now. And then tonight they go up against Johnny Gugu and the Blue Jackets. They're terrible. Chicago on Saturday, they're terrible. Their next 7 games are against non-playoff
Red
teams
Wings,
until they play the Rangers,
Flyers, Senators.
So the Oilers have an opportunity to make some noise here, provided that they don't play down to their competition and keep doing what they're doing.
That's what I was going to say. Is they have to keep the pedal. Keep it going, because sometimes they do play down to the competition, and then you're looking at
100%.
Yeah,
cannot happen. Like, if they think tonight is going to be an easy out against Columbus just because they're terrible, that's just not the case. There's still players over there that could burn them. So just keep doing what they're doing, and they're gonna win these games.
So defense, not Jimmy's mullet.
Well, I'm not going to not say it's Jimmy's mullet. Like,
you never
they could
know.
go hand in hand. The universe works in mysterious ways, and I'm going to give Jimmy some love for the mullet.
He actually got it recut in the day of the loss to the Kings.
That's true.
And then they went on that run. So
everybody knows a good haircut takes a couple of days to settle in.
That's a good point.
I'm still giving the mullet some credit.
It's a good point. The power of the mullet. There's a lot of trade talk going on right now because we're closing in on the trade deadline. Yep. Is there any names or anything like that even worth discussing? I mean, you see a lot of pie in the sky type stuff, but
Erik Karlsson.
Realistically, what do we have a chance at here in Edmonton?
Well, the thing is that the Oilers right now are tied to absolutely everybody. If you over at dailyfaceoff.com, Frank Saravalli did his Oilers trade deadline playbook. So from what he's hearing, there's a lot of talk about, defense. We've talked about defense a million times. Like, Joel Edmondson has been tied to the Oilers. We talked about him last week. But there's also some forwards that are interesting, like Jonathan Toews. He's a guy who's won before. Probably wouldn't cost a whole lot in terms of an acquisition cost because he's in the last year of an expiring contract. They would need another team to eat some money to make it work. But these are the kind of moves that the Oilers are kind of looking at. So they're looking at some defense. They're looking at maybe bolstering the forwards with somebody like Toews who could maybe bump them over the edge. He's a guy who's won it before. So that'd be an interesting move. But ultimately, we're still in, I call it silly season because we're tied to literally every player that could potentially move. And I honestly expected none of those to happen because I've been an Oilers fan my whole life and they're used to disappointing me. So I try not to get too excited about it, but I would be surprised, very, very surprised if we don't get another defenseman in here and a forward of some kind.
How do you say his name? The guy from the Blue Jackets. That the Leafs.
Gabra, Gabra or something.
Yeah.
The defensive defenseman.
Vladislav.
Yeah, Vladislav. I keep seeing his name pop up. So
Gavrikov.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a defensive defenseman. He's not going to give you any offense. He's not overly physical, but he stops cycles and he stops pucks from going in the net. So, is he a potential? Sure. I think the cost of acquisition might be a little bit high, but we'll see. We'll see how much old Dutch wants to go fishing here because the Oilers' window's open. They're starting to roll now. They seem to have kind of shaken off the rust from earlier in the season or whatever was going on. And now they got an opportunity not just to make the playoffs, but to grab the division. It's right there. So we're going to see what Uncle Ken has to do because I think he's going to add. We just don't know how much he's going to add.
Uncle Ken.
I wanted to bring this up because they're playing the Blue Jackets tonight and then they're playing non-playoff teams, teams that might be, going for a certain draft pick. Do you believe Gary Bettman when he says that no team in the NHL is tanking right now on purpose?
Oh, yeah, Gary. No team's tanking for Connor Bedard there, bud.
His press conference last night. Nobody's tanking.
Ridiculous. Yeah, of course. Like, I don't even know why he bothers saying that, because we all know they're tanking. Like, we did it for years. We were the kings of tanking. They changed the rules because of the Edmonton Oilers' ability to tank. So, yes, there are teams tanking. I don't care what Gary Bettman says. Yes.
Kane's not playing tonight.
No, Kane is listed as probably out due to a personal matter.
Okay.
Jason Gregor was reporting that he was down in San Jose for part of his bankruptcy hearing that he was going through for a while back. So he could miss tonight.
Meeting with somebody from a casino.
So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, it's a big hole whenever he's out of the lineup. I've liked the way he's played when he's been back. So we'll miss him for sure, but hopefully he gets that cleaned up in short order and he's back in the lineup.
I'm surprised. I can't believe how good he looks.
Mm-hmm.
I
am too.
He made an impact immediately. That first game back. I mean, I tuned in that game and I was like, all right, well, expectations. Maybe they'll put him in the bottom six and let him warm up a little bit. Boom, he's on the top line, and he's having an impact. Right, like he just changes the sort of the game as soon as they throw him in. Right.
He gives the Oilers a little bit of swagger that they had been missing. He's the guy that if anyone touches Connor, he's first in the pile.
Yeah.
He's a guy that can also score for. I know he hasn't gotten a goal yet since he's been back, but he's got some chances. I'm just waiting for him to knock the rust off the hands a little bit. But other than that, he's looked good. When we interviewed him at OilersNation.com on the Real Life podcast a couple of weeks back, he said the only thing he felt good, legs felt good, body felt good. He was just worried about, not worried, but like waiting for the hands to come back, because that only takes at bats. It takes timing. It takes reps. So it's going to come, and he's going to be a major impact down the stretch.
There is Baggedmilk, Oilers Nation. We got a 7:30 puck drop tonight. Columbus Blue Jackets in town. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Thanks, boys.
The Locker Room for Always Plumbing and Heating. Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.